2018 Subaru WRX STI Type RA First Drive Review at Taste of Japan, Palm Springs, California. Last year, Subaru set a record for the fastest sedan lap at the ring in a race-spec STI Type RA, which completed nearly 13 miles in less than 7 minutes. The new 2018 Subaru WRX STI Type RA is inspired by that record breaker, and those before it, and it will finally come to the United States as a special edition limited to just 500 units. We traveled out to the California desert to test it on mountain roads, as well as a recently built private racetrack at the Thermal Club. Record-setting pedigree. Subaru built its first record attempt, that's what the RA stands for, vehicle in 1988, a Subaru Legacy that drove more than 62,000 miles over 18 days at STI track in Phoenix. Since then, Subaru has introduced a number of WRX/STI Type RA models, with several attempts to set record laps at the Nürburgring. While Japanese customers got the opportunity to buy consumer versions of the Type RA, fans in the United States never did. Until now. The nameplate finally comes to the rest of us, improving upon an already potent, all-wheel drive performance sedan for the everyman. The STI already offers 305 horsepower, a forgiving torque vectoring system, and that big, beautiful wing to set it apart. The Type RA takes this even further, providing more refined performance from a familiar package. The cars are currently being built, and will arrive in dealerships soon. Special equipment. Compared to the standard STI, the Type RA is about 68 pounds lighter thanks to a carbon roof and rear wing, BBS 19-inch forged aluminum alloy wheels, the deletion of the rear armrest and swapping of the spare for a tire repair kit. The lighter roof also helps to lower the center of gravity by a fraction of an inch. Other exterior changes include signature STI cherry blossom red highlights on the grille and rear bumper, a front spoiler, black mirrors and Type RA badging. It only comes in 3 paint colors, WR Blue Pearl, Crystal Black Silica, and Crystal White Pearl. Inside, it gets an ultra-suede steering wheel, short throw shifter, red push-button ignition and a serialized plate to indicate its rarity. Under the hood, the Type RA benefits from strengthened pistons and sodium-filled exhaust valves that better withstand high temperatures, which is important as the number of laps ticks higher on track day. It gets revised ECU tuning, and lower restriction air intake and exhaust. Finally, it has a 4.5% lower third gear ratio. In terms of power, the boosting output is modest, just 5 horsepower. That and the revised third gear help the Type RA do 0 to 60 miles per hour about 1/10 of a second quicker. Handling hardware. The rest of the improvements are focused on handling. The STI Type RA comes equipped with more responsive Bilstein dampers. The carbon roof increases torsional rigidity enough that Subaru claims it improves steering response. The aerodynamic improvements, front spoiler, rear vent and adjustable rear wing, improve grip through downforce and reduced lift. If you can't live with the regular STI's downfalls, this car isn't going to convince you. This limited edition doesn't fix any current complaints about the car, it just improves slightly on the car's strengths, brightening and polishing those aspects that attracted the car's current and past owners. Pushing $50,000. The interior still doesn't have the premium feel you'd expect from that price tag. There's still a lot of road noise. 6th gear still needs to be a lot taller before it'll be comfortable for long highway hauls. But highway hauls aren't what the Type RA is about. Faster lap times are more the Type RA's thing. In Subaru's tests, pro racer David Higgins was able to run Virginia International Raceway's Grand West course 4 seconds quicker than in the standard 2018 STI. Perhaps most importantly, though, the Type RA provides die-hard fans the chance to own something they'll find special, something previously admired from afar, reserved for the Japanese home market, offered in the United States for the first time ever. On the road. Your author still owns a 2004 WRX, and has maintained a familiarity with the subsequent generations of the WRX and STI. These cars have evolved in such a way that there's a certain intimacy, the placement of certain controls, the feel of the pedals and steering wheel, the way the car reacts to driver inputs, the way its weight shifts, that it always feels like home. The same is true for the Type RA, albeit slightly evolved. Our drive took us into the mountains above Palm Springs before heading out to the Thermal Club. The tug of this turbo boxer performs as reliably and effortlessly as it always has in uphill climbs, offering just a bit more muscle at 310 horsepower. Shifts are quick and precise, almost automatic hand gestures, with the short throw shifter swapping deftly and palpably from one gear to the next without a risk of fumbling through them. Just like the regular STI, it's a hoot to push the motor near the top of the rev range as you accelerate and brake on undulating, curvy roads. And boy, those curves! Even hemmed in by the steep ledges lining the narrow roads, which we shared with other cars, semis and cyclists alike, the Type RA's subtle differences and unflappable grip became apparent. The STI usually feels kind of heavy, a sense that you're reluctantly overcoming inertia, but the Type RA feels lighter, flitting from left to right and back. Nail the rhythm, with that lightness perfectly meshing with steering precision and deft handling, and it's a bit like dancing. The bill sign setup is definitely a worthwhile improvement, even for this sort of casual-ish driving. Cruising the up and down a stretch of mountain roads, getting a feel for the STI Type RA's temperament, was a nice warm-up for what would come next.